Welcome to the first episode of Surviving Art. Here we explore the world of art from economics and simple tips on equipment to surviving the existential dread that is the art world. My name is Matej Tomaszin and today we're going to talk about commissions. This video is dedicated to more or less anyone in academia, as the ever-present romantic question of artist integrity is still quite problematic in such circles. But if you have no issues with selling and branding your work, stick by anyway. I'm trying to make these things as universally applicable to any situation as possible. So, without further ado, let's talk earning money. Commission work. Selling art or selling out? First of all, let's start with this romantic proposition that I hear all too often when talking with artists in academia. So here's a tough nut. Johnny got a commission from Rachel, a banker who likes his work and would like to decorate her office with something special. Is Johnny a sellout for putting a price tag on his work? Or is he a conformist for letting others direct his creative genius for their petty decorative wishes? What? To paraphrase an example from my girlfriend and fellow artist Iris, even the Pope gets compensated for serving the church, though probably not as much as Bill Gates or Mark Zuckerberg. But if a position as creative as serving the will of Skype people is a paid job, surely one would not question the monetary compensation for artists, right? Yet a lot of artists still struggle with the concept of paid work. Our friend Johnny may not be the ultra-leftist utopian flower child who would just give her the work in return for positive vibrations and good karma, but when confronted with the question of price, he stumbles. How much should he charge? How much is art actually worth? Now, this is a tricky one, as people who make their living on Etsy will tell you something completely different from people in academia. I remember a conversation I had with an artist from France, and I emphasize this because of context. The French art world is doing just fine compared to countries like Slovenia. So we talked about what he does and how he does it, and had a wonderful conversation, but when it came to money, he choked. I was quite frankly amazed at how the topic of money made him feel so uncomfortable. But why? Art is a commodity. Marx himself based his ideas of commodities on artistic objects. Why then would we treat them differently? In academia, this is due greatly to the idea that after art school we'll all be famous big shots in giant galleries where we'll be serving the great and wonderful art. That's with a capital A. That our sole purpose in life is to serve humanity with our functional leftist ideas of intricate political installations and provocative indie videos. But guess what? Nobody really cares. Or what is closer to the truth, I think, nobody knows how to care. But more on that on some other time. The point of this video is dedicated to the romantic idealist me from the past, and everyone who still thinks fame and fortune is paved with only blue-chip gallery openings and networking with the ultra-rich. It's not. Not because it can't be done, but because you first have to understand that art is a business like any other. With some cool perks, of course, but treat it like that. Have a business plan. Calculate your expenses and make realistic goals on how much you want to earn and especially how to get there. This is where a sound strategy comes into play. If you don't have one, you'll get lost before you know it. And in a subjective world like ours, no Maps app will ever get you back on track, and you'll just start sinking into the depths of contempt towards others, the system, and yourself. Believe me, we've all been there and eventually end up there, even if we strive for better. But it's smarter not to jump in the pit and at least try to stay above it all. So make a plan. Mine consists of a few important things. First, remind yourself why you do it. Simple. Commissions are exchanges of goods, your skill and knowledge in exchange for money or something other that is of value to you. But you don't do them only for the money, so don't kid yourself. But at the same time, you don't just do them because you like to make art. Know your why. Which brings me to number 2. Don't do a commission if you don't like what the customer wants from you. If you love doing baby portraits, go for it. But if you don't take the job. You'll make a crappy work anyway. Or if nothing else, you just start to hate commissions. Find things that you can do and like to do. And find people who want something that fits your style and skill. Show them your portfolio. Ask them if this is something they would enjoy. If not, why bother? There's plenty of others who'd actually like to do the projects that you don't. Give them a chance and give your customers their contact if you have any. You might be repaid tenfold when they get in the same situation as you and get you one of their commissions. If you need the money, get a side job that isn't creative. And this is number 3. Don't do it just because you need the cash. Just don't. You'll wind up getting milked for all you got for the least amount of money. Making art is not a prosperous profession at the beginning, but if you get enough out of it to pay for that holiday trip to the Bahamas you always wanted, that's more than great for a start. And never, ever, ever, ever undercut yourself. Set a fair price. We'll talk in depth about pricing in another video, but do your research and find out how much others are charging for similar work. Don't aim too high, but don't aim too low. Number 4, get a side job that doesn't kill your will to live. I'm looking at you, retail. Maybe you love technology like me, and such a job wouldn't make you wish for the end times as soon as the other person. But making coffee or house sitting is better than a creative, crappy job that sucks the life out of you. Don't do menial labor as an InDesign artist for some insurance agency if all you'll be doing is making application forms for the devil. You won't have the will to do the stuff you love after 8 hours of playing along the ticky squares. Number 5. Make a roadmap of where you want to be in the future. Don't get too carried away with side jobs that pay the bills, and don't forget why you took them in the first place. They're just that, side jobs. Do your due diligence, but after you washed away that 9 to 5, you're an artist again. You're probably thinking like, screw this, right? This is too much effort. I'll find something better to do as a professional, just paint in my free time. And that's a solid thing to do. But just accept that you're not an artist. You just like the idea of being one. Being an artist in today's economy is a 25-hour-a-day job. I mean, Buddy Rich didn't just play his drums when he felt like it. He practiced and worked his ass off. But you can see where it got him. If you love something, you'll make sacrifices to keep doing what you love. Art is like dating. You don't just take it on one date and expect to know all about it. You'll have to invite it home and live with it for a few years and let it shower you with its faults and problems and lovable quirks. Number 6. Create short-term and long-term goals that are as precise as possible. I want to get commissions is not a goal, it's wishful thinking. This is important. Make real, precise and pragmatic goals. If you want to do one commission next month, make a plan how and describe exactly what you need to get there. I want to be successful is a shirt slogan somewhere in the ballpark of California rowing team 1998, not a goal. Make the effort and make a step-by-step guide that your grandma could understand. We're amazing creatures when it comes to logical thinking and comprehension, but we're also lazy schmucks that want to be guided through life. Stimulate the lazy part, otherwise you'll just want to sleep and eat chips all day. Number 7. Part of a good plan is finding out how to reach the people you know and who know your work. Don't look for buyers online and think that you're the only one there. There's millions of us waiting for the chance of our lifetime, but maybe only one of you in your hometown with your particular skill set that you have. I sold more works to friends than anyone else, Even the collectors that I encountered around Europe first took their time in getting to know me. You're part of the buying equation. Your personality is the driving force when people decide if they're going to commission you or not. And you don't get that from a website. I'm not saying it's not important to have internet presence. It's essential. But why not ask that friend that is getting married if he'd like a portrait for that special day? Or your neighbor Jessica, who just refurnished her flat and keeps on complaining about the dull assortment of decorative paintings in IKEA. Number 8. Art is also decor. It's hard to swallow, but that's just the way it is. Nobody will commission you just to be a patron of your work. They will, of course, enjoy the fact that they got an original work of art from a real artist. But if they didn't have that big white slab of empty wall above their cobalt blue couch with the yellow designer pillows, do you really think they would order a painting to hang it there? There are, of course, multiple levels of why somebody would want a work of art, and we will explore them in future videos. For now, it's important to be at peace with the idea that what you see in art isn't necessarily what your client will see. But if they get what they want and you're happy to help them, it's a win-win situation for everybody. You will be an interpreter of emotion when making commissions. You will be translating the feelings and expectations of your customers into color and form. If they want happy, don't give them cynical. It's not your job to comment on their wishes. It's to create them as perfectly as you can while being true to your style. So don't look down on commission work. Take some time to build a plan on how you will be tackling the problem of making works by order. Start small, but don't do it for free. Even for your Uncle Steve. At least he should cover the material costs and pay you a minimal creative fee. A good word and a sincere thank you just won't buy food and pay the rent. Even if you're still living at home, so these are a non-issue for you right now, they will be sooner or later. Better build your foundation accordingly. Future you will thank you for it. If you found this video useful or amusing, give it a thumbs up and follow my channel. I'll be posting content like this on a weekly basis. And let me know your thoughts on the topic. How do you get your commissions and what have you learned throughout the time doing them? If you have any questions, DM me on Instagram or put it down in the comment section below. Let's make this a community for anyone trying to succeed in the arts, that they may find useful information that actually helps. It's a tough business and we're all just surviving somehow. Why not help each other out? So thanks for watching and keep on fighting that existential dread. And I'll see you next week on Surviving Art.